I'm here with Adam. Hello, Adam.
Hi guys, how are you all doing on this evening? Hope you're all doing very, very well, and I'm looking forward to another great round of the Formula Euroleague Championship. It's great to be here.
Yeah, and this could be the championship decisive round for the constructors as the drivers' championship, because if Thomas could win this round, he needs to win the race, and Michael needs to be top 7 with the fastest lap. Will he still make chance on the title? But that won't. It's top 7. It's doable for him. He has a good caliber driver. He is really strong at attack and defensive. So I think Michael will still be in the championship fight after this round. And Williams can win it in some way. I don't know what, but Felix has on his laptop the calculation, so we'll probably hear it when the race is over. But still, we have qualifying first, and we'll still need to get through lap 1. So, yeah.
Well, both championships are in the balance today. Of course, whilst the Drivers' Championship, a lot has to happen for Darth FIFA to claim the championship in this race. The constructors' situation seems to be a lot more straightforward. Currently, the Williams team has 141 points in their pocket, and with 4 races to go, you mathematicians out there won't have to work out too much, but that means that there is a maximum number of points available. My maths is right. It should be around 176 if you include fastest laps as well.
Well, something like that, and in one race you can score 44 points. So, for example, if Williams just DNF all the races with both cars, yeah, and the chance will still be big they win it, but Mercedes will be. It's not over yet, so we'll just have to wait until the checkered flag and who is going to take the victory. Adam, who is your favorite driver for today? Who do you think is going to win?
Well, the Canadian Grand Prix is a track that does have its technical elements. You do need to find a good compromise between downforce and straight line speed. Yeah. Looking through that order, I was very, very impressed from Felix in the Brazilian Grand Prix. It was an outstanding drive from him.
Race.
But looking through, I am going to go a bit against I was looking at Tim.
He's really confident. He says, I'm going to ruin the Williams party tonight.
Yeah, I mean, Tim was very, very impressive in the Red Bull coming through the field. I would say, yeah, he's got a good chance, but I'm going to go a bit outside that. I think Luke might spring up a surprise this weekend. He was impressive in qualifying in Brazil. He opted a very low downforce setup and it worked for him. So on a track like Canada, that may work for him also. There's a lot of opportunities to overtake, so you're going to need a quick car in a straight line in Canada, especially at the final DRS section before the chicane. So yeah, I think Luke has definitely got a lot to prove at this race, and I think he's going to do well today.
Yeah, we still have a lot of the same driver lineups. Danny makes his debut in the race. Matthias makes his Tier 1 debut after finishing P2 in Tier 2, which he done a good lap. And make sure to check the Tier 2 race if you haven't watched it yet. Make sure to check the website, the new Twitter page, all the same as the YouTube page's name. Our Insta Formula_Euro_League, Twitter the same, and our YouTube channel the same. And we already climbed to 131 subscribers, and we gained 4 since the Tier 2 race. So yeah.
Yeah, and that's really well plugged there, Matthias. So yeah, for those of you that are unaware, we've just started a new Twitter page, I should say, before I get tongue-tied.
The Twitter page is Euro_League because it's a bit of a mistake.
Euro_Formula, yes. Yeah, so Euro_Formula.
It's a bit weird. I typed the name in Formula_Euro_League and they just make Euroleague of it.
Yeah, it comes up with a tag, but unfortunately so the tag is Euro_Formula. And of course, yes, as Matthias mentioned, we do have a new website for the Formula Euro League. So that's F1EuropeanLeague.wixsite.com/Formula Euro League. If you're obviously struggling to keep up with that, don't worry, just check out the bio in the Instagram page and it will also be listed there. It's also listed on the Twitter page as well. And of course, check out the Formula Champions League 2, so the second tier for Formula Euroleague racing. It was an incredible race today. I won't spoil the results for those of you who haven't seen it, but do check it out. Plenty of people getting involved, and obviously we've had a massive explosion of subscribers jumping on the channel as well, so thank you very much for subscribing to the channel, and we hope to bring you more great content. And of course, Matthias, don't forget, we also have League for you Xbox fans out there, so for those of you who do not compete on a PlayStation, as the rest of the drivers that right now are, we have an Xbox League on Tuesday nights as well.
Yeah, we already have
sure
10 drivers for that, so be quick, make sure to be part of the green side of the EuroLeague, and now we're watching a bit of the blue side. Xbox and PlayStation, we are just yeah, we're doing really great. We're expanding a lot of the leagues, thing like now getting a Twitter page, Instagram, being updated, the YouTube channel, the thumbnails, which has been an amazing job by Rune, our edit designer, standings designer. He's our graphic designer, so give the man a shout out. He has done a really good job on that one. And yeah, our website where Maiko and Rune just worked amazingly day and night for 3 days straight. Oh, Luke has a 5 place grid penalty already. Oy.
Well, someone's a bit too keen. Well, there goes my prediction out of the window already. Well,
if he still gets pole in the qualifying, it's a long race, Adam, so you'll never know. You'll never know. Is there a McLaren in the lead?
So Wes Kleinfield in the chat, he asks, when does the Xbox League start? So when does it start, Matthias? It starts on Tuesdays.
I don't know really, because I didn't really talk about Steve about it, and yeah, if we started, we first need to have 20 drivers to start a full grid, and probably we'll start in 2 weeks time. We now have a lot of time due to the coronavirus outbreak, so we might see it in the near future, in a week. So but I don't know which Tuesday. It might be next Tuesday. Sadly I can't stream because I don't have an Xbox, so
Lasia has just mentioned in the chat as well, so
yeah,
5:30
that's the
GMT,
owner of the Xbox.
6:30 European time as well on Tuesday nights. Of course, we don't have a confirmed date when it's going to start, but it will be on Tuesday evening. So if you've got an Xbox and you want to get involved in Formula EuroLeague, make sure to follow that page as well. And they'll be updated very shortly. But it's all very exciting. There's this expansion going on. A lot has been happening this season, so it's great to be involved in all of that. And obviously, we're going to have that with you very, very soon. Plenty more to look forward to.
What can Lorenzo do? 110-1, and Felix destroys it 1-1-8-8.
Yeah, it's a bit more representative time for Felix. I was following his lap
goes
round.
faster, that's a surprise.
Ah.
But it's only early stages in quali, so...
Yeah, I mean, Felix had a little bit of traffic on his lap, but
Simon goes fast just about, and his teammate gets absolutely over it with 5/10s. So it's really in the championship battle for this season, for this race. They didn't give information in the group, right? I don't know, I'm not in the Xbox chat, I'm not involved with that, but just ask Josh, the Xbox admin of the Xbox part of EuroLeague. What's the weather for the race? I can't tell you. I think it's going to be dry, otherwise we'll have it in my DM for my drivers. So Luke now with the 6th fastest time. But I won't actually know, and there will be the same good commentators. No, Adam and me. I don't know, Adam, do you have an Xbox?
Oh God, no.
Oh God, no.
No, I'm a PlayStation guy through and through, I'm afraid, guys. I mean, don't get me wrong, the Xbox, when that really boomed around the 360 days, the previous gen of consoles, and it was ahead of the game when PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360 came around. It was really on par with PlayStation back then, but I think since the latest gens of consoles with the Xbox One and the PS4,
yeah,
it depends on what you want from your entertainment system, but I just feel overall, you know, I'm a PlayStation guy.
Same for me. I bought a PS3 when I was 11, and about a year later a PS4, which I will never regret because I met such amazing people. Yeah, like those guys I all met them because of League Racing, and you can't do League Racing without a PS4 or Xbox. So I'll never regret that. It was it was quite some expensive money for a 12-year-old, but wet dry race. So dry wet. So that's the interesting item. We have a wet, dry, and wet race. So it's going to be a lot of strategy here, and I know Felix is one of the best in that, like we saw last race.
Well, of course, that might make a lot of sense because a majority of the drivers at the moment are setting their times on the softer compound tyres, which would indicate that they obviously know as well that it's very likely that we're going to have a wet race, just like we did in Brazil as well. So I'm a bit surprised to see, if that is the case, that Lorenzo Bandini and also Het Camper have both gone out on medium tyres, considering that the alternate strategy may not be the right choice. It might be better just to go for the fastest time. Sometimes when the rest of the field go out and pick one compound of tyres, you're probably better off going with that flow, unless of course you know something that none of us know. So we'll have to see what Lorenzo does after his first lap on medium tyres. We'll have to see if he goes and reverts to soft tyres, considering he's in 10th place.
Donkey is finishing his lap, P8 for the Red Bull driver. But yeah, we're just expounding everything. Yeah, it's going really well for the league, so I'm really happy to see that. I always like when Steve comments something in the comment section and you see his screens, his help profile picture of him, a selfie and a beanie on his head, like 2009 stuff, you know, like your dad having those really fashion sunglasses, which was then really fashion, and now you just, if you have them now, you'll be called a boomer. Tim will go on board with him. He gets purple in sector 1, and as we know, he is really fast on this track.
Yeah, it was rapid round Brazil, so I'm expecting good things from Tim. He drove a really good race, and hopefully he'll carry that form on. He drove a good race earlier in the VRL F1 race, so I won't spoil that result. If you haven't seen that, do check that out. It's another brilliant race, and Tim drove really well there. But yeah, I'm expecting him to do well here as well. This is a good track to him. He's been in great form of late. He's been very quick in qualifying, so he's definitely one of the favourites for this race, must be said.
And I think he's going to challenge Michael for the provisional pole. As he goes to the wall of championship. Tricky corner. Absolutely smooth.
Oh yeah, it's no problem at all. It's not going to end up in the wall of champions anytime soon.
Jesus.
Whoa. There we go.
1-8-1-9-9. So he could spoil the Williams party or the Michael party, who knows?
Well, at the moment, the Williams drivers need to score minimum of... just trying to work this out in my head, actually. So 176 points on offer. They have a 141 point lead. So with that in mind, they would need a minimum gap to the Mercedes teams of around 100.
Benjamin goes to provisional pole.
So 132 points gap they would need to win the championship after this race. So what that means in short, ladies and gentlemen, is the Mercedes team need to outscore Williams by 9 points today.
If they still want to make challenge.
Exactly. So yeah, it's in Williams' hands at the moment, and obviously the way Felix has been driving, and Darth Fever as well, I'm expecting... I'd be very surprised today if Williams do not wrap up the Constructors' Championship. But of course, anything can happen. This is why we love motor racing. Thomas gets a
purple sector 2 after probably now getting a good sleep stream of his old teammate Steve.
Oh yeah, no, he's in a right position to get a beautiful toe off of that Ferrari as well. And Steve loves driving with, like, yeah. Oh well, Michael's gone fastest of a 1.8.1. He's going to have a lot of traffic, Thomas, as he's being held up by Steve. But Steve's on a lap himself, so there's not much he can do.
But he still gets a lot of toe.
Oh, but he's pushing him along the line. Yeah, I'm just saying, like, as much as Thomas was hoping to get the benefit of that slipstream from Steve, it got to the point towards that last chicane where he was literally pushing Steve along, and Steve's had to abandon. Was Steve on a lap? He was on a
Yeah,
lap,
he was.
so yeah. So no, I was just going to say, if he wasn't on a lap, then that would have been something for the stewards to have a look at, but no. You know, I mean, Steve can obviously go as fast as he can't go. You don't expect him to be told to move out of the way, especially if he was on his first flying lap, so...
Cam
yeah,
gets a
didn't really work
PB
out
in
for
sector
Thomas.
2. So go on board with him, Jesus Christ. Felix now down in P12, so he's still in the pit lane, so he might improve later on in the session. Doesn't invalidate it really smooth in the controller. As his time going to be, it's good enough for P6 again. And we have Ice-T beat Ice-T going to the pits. Yes, again in PB in sector 2, sector 1, sorry. Adam, what is your opinion about this circuit? You like it, or?
Well, it's a good combination of technical elements and speed. It's a very good driver's circuit, as you mentioned earlier. Of course, you want to get the balance right. You don't want to have too much downforce on the car to minimize your impact on the straights, especially at the final part of the lap, where you can make so much time with running less downforce. But at the same time, you have to make sure that in the middle sector where it gets very tight and very technical, that the car does not understeer, especially on a street circuit layout like Montreal is. And you don't want to understeer too much because the car will end up in the barriers quite easily. Of course, we've got the Wall of Champions, that difficult section where you can get it absolutely right if you nail the chicane, and you can equally get it horribly wrong. I mean, the Wall of Champions has taken out so many great drivers like Michael Schumacher, Jack Villeneuve, Damon Hill, Jenson Button. Sebastian Vettel, that famous race in 1998 when Michael Schumacher was leading the Canadian Grand Prix and he completely binned it in the wall. Sorry, not 98, 99 I should say. Not long before he broke his leg in Silverstone. He was leading the race quite comfortably and then binned it in the wall, over-committing into that chicane, and you can throw the car in with as much speed as you like, but if you get it wrong, there's only one place you'll go, and that's into the Wall of Champions. Be interesting to see if anyone makes that mistake today in the race.
I think there will be. Last season there was. Adam, do you have a question of the day?
So I do. So this one's going to be a bit tricky, guys. So I am going to see if you guys can get it earlier or later on. So here's a question for the Canadian Grand Prix. So pay attention, guys. So in the history of the Canadian Grand Prix, believe it or not, Matthias, it used to be one of the circuits that used to be towards the tail end of the season, rather than earlier in the season in the real world of Formula 1 as it is now. Since 1978, there's been just one Canadian Grand Prix where the world champion has been crowned at that circuit. Can you name the driver and also the year?
And
this is a bit... not necessarily the team, I'll just take the driver and the year. So who was the last driver to win the World Championship at the Circuit de Gilles Villeneuve in Montreal? This is quite a difficult one, so let's see if you guys can get it. See who's the first one to get it. So this was a bit of an older one.
Yeah.
But I'll give you a clue. It was back in the 1980s.
I also look at a gap in the top 5. It's just absolutely nothing. Less than 1/10. Well, it is 1/10 for 5 cars. Being separated by such a small time.
We have to keep an eye on Luke. I'm just watching him now, Matthias.
Same.
10th up on his time in Sector 1, purple first sector. So at the moment he's looking good. There's a yellow flag coming up to the hairpin of Sector 3. It's a slow moving Williams by the look of it, who's letting traffic go. And it's gone green now, so it's not going to impact Luke, who's gone even faster in the middle sector. So that's a personal best and a purple in Sector 2. Luke is flying, and he's going to have a little bit of traffic in front of him, but not too much. He'll get a lovely tow off of those two Williamses.
I know he's a bit too far back.
Oh, you'll still get a bit of a tow behind them. If you're a couple of seconds back, you can still pick up the smallest of tow. Luke really well committed in there. He just scrapes the wall in there. That's perfect. Exactly how you want to take that corner. Sits to the right of the line, and he goes fastest.
Really good lap.
Brilliantly done.
Also watch Mikey in P6.
Yes, he did. Yeah, Mikey's gone up in the McLaren as well, so great time for him. But yeah, just to say that's a great effort from Luke. Of course, he's got that penalty as well, so he needs to get to the front. Just shy of the 1 minute 7s, but he'll be very delighted with that lap. And that's exactly the sort of commitment you need.
Felix invalidated this lap, so he might give Thomas a tow on both straights.
Possibly. I mean, I mean, to talk about that lap, Matthias, it's one of those laps where you really have to be committed around this circuit. You really have to throw the car in, so much speed.
Biggest risk. Take a
Yeah,
big
absolutely.
risk.
You know, you make the risk, you get rewarded for it if it pays off. But of course, equally, if you get it wrong, you end up in the wall, and that's the risk that drivers have to take if they want to get the front. I mean, the top 6 right now, Matthias, are separated by less than a quarter of a second. If you go further, everyone from Luke to Matthias Gamer in 15th place is 8 tenths apart, and that's 15th to 3rd. So if you can really nail the lap, you can make up so many places. So important qualifying as well in this race, it must be said.
Overtaking is really difficult.
It is difficult. I mean, we've got the DRS section, of course, towards the end of the lap and at the start finish straight. You know, so there are some overtaking opportunities. There's another yellow flag there, so Ferrari and an Alfa Romeo was getting a bit touchy there. It was looking a bit further up the field. I think, yeah, it was Steve Magic Alonso trying to get past one of the Alphas. As he's coming through for the final chicane now. We'll see what this time's going to be. I don't think this is going to be an improvement from him. He's obviously compromised his lap, so he's going to have a lot of work to do. Steve further back down in 16th place. He has not had the rub of the green, and now the Alpha behind him has just spun as well, quite embarrassingly. So that was Matthias Gamer 122.
Matthias.
Really doing him.
Jesus.
Yeah. So now the guys shaping up to do their final lap, as we've now just got Benjamin coming through now.
Lacia said in the comments, Thomas, Adam, 1980, Alan Jones won the title at Montreal. And
yeah, that is absolutely correct. So well done, Lacia.
I think he used Google.
Well, that's okay. I've got another question in mind, but I'm going to leave that until qualifying is done. Of course, we've got to get through the last part now. Benjamin is getting is he getting a great tow there, trying to pass the racing point? We're going to have to see what this lap's going to be. He's getting really dicey behind him, hasn't impacted him too much, and it's a great exit out of the final corner. He was quick in the first sector, he was a bit so middle sector, and across the line, and he's fastest. Wow.
First one in the 1/7.
Well, he got that tow.
Michael coming through the final corner as well.
He got that beautiful tow as well. And Maiko's 2 tenths up on his personal best, and this one's going to be tight as well, and he goes fastest. Now it's all going now. What's Luke going to do? He's about to start his final lap. Tim has invalidated his lap, so he's going to have to get a move on to cross the line, but he's on tyres that are already 2 laps old. Not going to do him any favours. Where is Felix? Felix is in the pits in 12th place, so he's had a nightmare. And Ice-T has his lap invalidated as well, where he's about to start a lap. And now the flag has just come down, so anyone about to start a lap looking like they're not going to get through it. Right, it's all going off now. As you can see, the flags come out now, so anyone who's starting a lap.
Oh,
and
Luke, a big crash!
Oh, and I told you, that is the difference between finding the time, finding the speed, and sometimes pushing too much, and he's completely lost it into the wall, as a Haas also goes into the wall. That's going to wreck a lot of people's times.
Yeah, Mikey can now improve a position to Donkey if he takes a good lap. Just have to wait what he does.
We'll have to see what Mikey's doing. Donkey's completely abandoning his lap, he's nowhere. We'll have to see what Mikey does as he comes through the final corner. He went for it, he went for the risk. And that's what can happen. If you get it horribly wrong, that's what can happen. I don't know if anyone else is really on a lap at the moment. I'm just looking through the field.
Ice-T.
No, Ice-T. No, he was off on that one. He was a bit poor towards the middle part of the lap. That's it.
The race is going to be in a light rain race. Starts with light rain, then it's nothing, and then it ends with light rain. So it's wet, dry, wet. It's tricky, so we won't start on the soft tires, probably just on the intermediate tires. And I think we had a good qualifying session, but as we speak, 11th and 13th for the Williams team.
Yeah, that is not what they would have wanted going into this qualifying session. So them guys, if they're going to win the Constructors' Championship today, they're definitely going to have to get it moving. And of course, for Maiko, that's a great time from Maiko. That's exactly what he needs to do. So clearly, that hip of his is not playing up at all. And qualifying should have finished, ladies and gentlemen, but we're just waiting for some guys to come across the line now. I'm not sure what the game is doing, why they're still persisting with this session as everyone else has finished.
Yeah, Simon needs to get into the pit lane, which I think just retire from the session. A, you save your tires, B, it saves time.
There we are, so that's the end of qualifying.
Yeah, it's Michael getting his pole position after a good qualifying. Benjamin, Luke, Tim, Donkey, Mikey in a good qualifying in the McLaren. Kai, Joran, Simon, Karen, Thomas, the championship leader, and the guy who can win the championship but is now really unlikely to do. Steve, Felix, Lorenzo, aka Jelle, Steve, Danny, Headkamper, Matthias, Lorenzo, Paul, and Monster, and everyone in the top 16 in between 1 second. So that's really fast. Yeah,
so it's a great qualifying session for Maiko. That's exactly what he needed to do to keep this championship hopes alive. Of course, they're slim, but he needs to make sure that he can convert that pole position into a victory and just hope that the Williams guys do not put on the performance that they did in Brazil in the wet, because those two were absolutely electric, especially Felix. So plenty of work for those guys. Luke falling further down the order. As you can see, the rain is coming down now, so that is really going to affect. So all of those guys trying to do laps on medium tyres, clearly misjudging the weather conditions there. Everyone needs to be on the soft tyres. So yeah, so once again, Lassia, congratulations on getting that question right. Of course, he's saying in the chat that he didn't use Google there, that he knew that one. So well done to you anyway. So I'm going to give this next question.
I don't trust him.
Well, if that is the case, I'm going to ask you guys, try not to use the internet for this one. So this one's going to be a bit difficult as well, but I'll reveal the answer.
I will know if you use internet. I have magic eyes.
So try not to give it away, Matthias. But so as to go for the formation up now, here's the other question for you guys. So the Canadian Grand Prix has been at Montreal at the Circuit de Jules Villeneuve since 1978, with of course the late great Jules Villeneuve winning the inaugural Grand Prix. Now, since 1978, there's only been one season where the Canadian Grand Prix was not on the Formula 1 calendar. Can you guess, or does anyone know which year that the Canadian Grand Prix was not on the Formula 1 calendar since 1978?
Nope. I wouldn't know. I'm not that smart. And guys are starting on the softs.
It's not that long ago. Oh, I'll tell you what, I mean, maybe it's wet enough. I mean, it is going down, but there's not much standing water on the track, so this is going to be a very short opening stint, as you can see. Felix.
Why is Thomas in 9th place? Oh, Mikey has a 10th place grid penalty.
Yeah, there was a penalty for Mikey, if
and
you remember
Luke
right
as
earlier
well.
On. Yeah, so Maiko's completely lost it and just spun the car. Obviously, there's no damage on the formation lap, luckily for him. That would have been embarrassing in real-world Formula 1.
Oh. Wait. Hey. This formation lap is glitchy. It just freaked. Okay. Yeah.
No, what's up?
I don't understand why Michael is in first place but drives behind Felix. Don't overtake each other on the safe. No,
it's because Matthias, because he had a spin earlier on just underneath the bridge. He'd lost control of the back end of the Mercedes, went into the wall. It just shows that despite starting on the dry tyres, this is not going to be an easy opening stint for a lot of these guys.
Last year said 2009 when the Grand Prix wasn't held. On your question.
Yeah, so last year first there once again, and 2020 squad building.
Okay, but first we have a race. We have a race.
Very clever, yeah. Well done.
Well, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights, and away we go. It's a drive-through penalty for a lot of guys.
A lot of jump starts, yeah.
Oh, Tim Donkey into the lead with Kai and P2. A bit of a chaotic start. It's 3 wide with Steven, both of Mercedes.
Oh, and it's all gone as a McLaren spinning. Lorenzo's been sent spinning.
Oh no.
And Matthias Gamer as well.
Absolute horrendous start for both of the Mercedes. Both dropping quite some places, so that might give the Williams team a bit of hope, but it's really difficult. Oh, there's a car spinning and crashing. It's Luke.
Oh,
who crashed, and he lost his full front wing. But as I wanted to say, it's a really tricky condition here. It's wet and it's dry at the same time. You drive on dry tires, slick tires in a wet condition, and as we see, it's a VSC Donkey leads the race after making a jump start. So they want to probably try to get advantage of the VSC and try to do their drive-through lap already. And I think there are 2 drive-throughs, maybe more.
I think there was 4 actually. There must have been a glitch at the start. Yeah, I'm just having a look at it now. So I believe there was 4 drivers that actually jumped the start. Oh, and
Lorenzo has damage.
Yeah, so Donkey was one of them leading the race. So was KJ in second, and then also Tormens, I think Simon in 6th, and also Kerem as well. So Kerem also had a.
Yeah, all the guys are going into the pits.
Yeah, so pretty much
Simon. Oh, Simon is really screwed. His tires are being changed.
Oh, what is it? They're putting dries on. They're putting dries on.
No, intermediate is it? It's medium.
No, they're putting dries on.
Are it dry tires?
Yeah, and I'm seeing they're putting dries on.
Why are you going to the medium? It's better to drive on soft tires.
Well, it just depends on the weather at the moment, because of course if the track is drying up, Matthias, not that we know at this time, perhaps the track will get better. You know, I know it's light raining now, but if they can just survive this opening stint and the rain subsides maybe, then obviously they'll be able to go through. As now Thomas has got through, Joran has got a hand him,
so he's going to ruin his championship hopes last season. Or will we do it again and take him out? No,
it's all going
behind
yes!
This. I called it, he did it.
Oh, Tom, he's been spun around.
Commentator, no! Thomas gets taken out by Joran. He might, I don't know, he braked really, really late.
Well, I was just about to say that Williams were really getting a move on and getting the race underway for themselves, climbing up the order.
So, last season, Joran took Thomas out and blew his championship hopes away, and there's a bit of conspiracy going on that Joran and Mike are really good friends.
Sorry, Benjamin is just about to take the lead, Matthias. He's just passed Tim. And he's having a battle around the outside. Tim's still holding it in. They go together. Oh, and he nearly goes into the... Oh, and Ben has lost it.
He lost it and he saved it. Colin McCree's
nothing with it. Oh, that's going to get really ugly. And Felix has just avoided contact with him. And he got stuck behind him whilst he was battling Ice-T. And now he's going to go for a move to the inside. It might understeer into the wall, though. It does tend to understeer at that corner. He's held onto it. And now DRS has been over. They both have DRS. It's going to be a run down to the bridge in wet conditions. Who's going to be bravest with a big ballsy dive bomb from Felix up the inside?
But what I wanted to say, yeah, really great. But there's been a conspiracy thing which isn't over yet. There's a conspiracy that Maiko told Joran last season, something like that, to take Thomas out. But you never know the truth. So.
Well, Ice-T has now gone up the inside of Maiko, and he's got a great run in the racing point, and he's made that move stick. The second place, is Maiko going to be ballsy and to try going inside? Not this time. Oh, but Ice-T's got a poor run out of the chicane just to avoid the wall of champions now. And Maiko's going to have another go into turn 1. He's going to have DRS again. Is he going to go for championships on the line? If he makes a mistake, it's all over. And he manages to tuck in behind him. Ice-T, that's great driver from Ice-T. Of course, the VRL F2 championship leader as well. So he's obviously got his mind focused on
Felix is trying to attack Maiko. And he has been spun around.
Felix has lost it.
He has left no space.
Oh, Felix, I'll tell you what, he has not had the best of days today. And it's going to get even worse for him. So the Williams guys, after starting so strongly in this race, have now fallen back into the midfield again.
Left absolutely no space there. He just, he could have, I don't know, it could be a racing incident.
I don't think a move was really on in that part of the track. You can barely get one car through there, let alone 2.
Yeah, they were just... Felix saw the gap, he was next side by side with him, so I thought...
Oh, Mikey's gone alongside with Donkey, so they're having a battle for 13th, 14th. Donkey obviously starting the race a bit earlier than everyone else was and had to serve a penalty. And he's going to go for a move up the inside. Oh, and that's a very good move there. Mikey giving him loads of room, but he's going to get a great piece of traction on the outside. And he's going to drive past with DRS as well.
Gets the better exit. Oh no, Donkey has DRS and he is now in favor of the DRS. Jesus.
Oh, that's going to work out well. Tim sets the fastest lap. Yeah, so they're really, really close to him, but the track looks like it's drying up. So the dried tyres seems to be the way to go now. The rain, you can see it stopped raining now. So that oh, actually, no, tell a lie, this camera angle actually is raining. Sorry, I do apologise.
Yeah, it is raining. It probably won't stop anytime soon.
It's definitely not. It's definitely not acting at the moment that the track is getting more difficult. If anything, it's getting faster and faster. So right now, the wet tyre is definitely not the way to go now. As you can see, Lucas set the fastest lap of the race on a fresh set of medium tyres.
Thomas goes for Joran for P7. Yes, overtake done. And so, hey, Monsters in P3. The hell? How did he end up there?
He's just gone quietly about his business, but he's getting on with it.
How is he? Where did he qualify? He just started at the back and now he's just suddenly in P3. I don't understand it. How?
Well, it's been all going on, but obviously you've got to keep it clean and keep it on the road and you'll be alright. And now Steve is going for a move at the inside of Benjamin. He's made that stick.
Steve looking really racy. Finally we see some good action from the season 1
there's
champion.
A massive train of drivers now. You've got Heckcamper and Paul Ware. Paul's gone for the inside of Heckcamper in the Haas, and that's a great move from him to make that move stick, and he's up into 10th place. Great move from him.
Final point for him there. Felix closing up to the rest of the pack. As Benjamin makes a small mistake which allows Thomas to get closer.
Yeah, he's under a lot of pressure, and obviously Thomas is chasing the championship at the moment because his rival, Maiko, in 4th position at the moment, not too far up the road. He's got a great run on Benjamin here. Is Benjamin going to fight it? I don't really think there's much he can fight, and that's a very easy move.
It's dry.
Yeah, it's a very easy move from Thomas there. Didn't really have much resistance, Ben. So those soft tyre runners now, the softer tyres starting to fall off now.
Yeah, and Joran falling back places. He made overtake stick, done, send it, done with the move. Yeah, there's a big train of bit of 3 cars. Paul really close to the wall. Is he going for the move? Oh no!
Oh, what a big shunt! What was that?
Oh my!
Oh my word!
Thomas, he blocks Thomas completely, and also Benjamin. And
I don't think he did.
Thomas has wing damage.
To be honest, Matthias, I was watching that, and no, I've got a feel for you around there because he kept his line on the outside, and you had the Haas was right behind him, went to the right to try to go for it, and then he tried to tuck back in, but as he's tucked back in, Joran's braked maybe a little earlier than usual, but no, I'm sorry, I got to side with a Ferrari driver on that one. A Monster is out of the race. Monster's DNF, so he's had a big incident. He's lost it. He's literally binned the Haas at the exit.
Shit. But Thomas has wing damage because Paul blocked the exit of the World Champions. Well, I think he can get a penalty for that, for taking out Joran. Yeah, he's done a great job.
That's such a shame for him.
And he was P3 back on the podium.
It's Steve once again, and he's got a great run on Tim.
I think we all love to see. Tim has wing damage. Tim has almost lost his full front wing.
Yeah, we know he had a little incident where he lost his wing earlier, and Ice-T now leads the race. So we missed when all that was going on, and that means Thomas is now up into P3 all of a sudden.
Well, he has wing damage, so he'll probably try to change it in his next stop, but it will probably affect his performance.
But Maiko has pitted onto the medium tyres.
Where is he going to? It's going to the hard. He's trying to do it's medium. I can't. It's hard. Oh, he's changing his wings, so Felix got wing damage as well. A lot of craziness in this race so far. The Canadian Grand Prix makes his name.
Yeah, it looks like Maiko's going for a 2-stopper. He's just pitted onto the medium tyres. He's down into 10th place. Obviously, he's going to get a massive undercut on the guys in front. He's about 4 seconds behind Mikey, who's just lost a place to KJ, who's now raking his way up the order again. But yes, all that going on, Thomas, championship leader, is now up into the podium places once again, with Steve in second chasing down the leader, Ice-T. But as you're saying, yeah, Monster.
Oh, Steve goes wide.
Yeah, Monster, he got up to third place, but he got a bit too early on the throttle, and the back end came out of the exit of turn 6, where it normally understeers, but he got a heck of a lot of oversteer. It was a tag slapper, and he just lost it, smashed into the wall, and that's race over. It's unforgiving at this track. You get it wrong, the walls will punish you. It's a street circuit for a reason, guys, and that's a great example.
It's on an island, so I really... Oh, Thomas looking really racy to Steve.
Yeah, he's getting really close up to him. He needs to be careful. It's KJ.
Oh,
He's trying
Thomas
to go
doesn't
for a
really
move on
has
Donkey
wing,
now.
or does he? No, he hasn't.
Oh, KJ's gone for a move up Donkey, but he's left it in there. But no, he's going on the outside. He can't make that one stick. There's good defensive drive in there. Good respected driver from Donkey. But now he's got a great run, KJ. He's going to try and go around the inside. This is going to be a bit ballsy. If that's going to stick.
Jeez, good move.
Yeah.
Well, that's probably how Felix wanted it to go, but it didn't really work out for him.
Yeah, no, it's just got to leave it in there.
Actually go at him.
Well, to be fair, 2 cars, yes, they can go in there, but it requires for one of them to yield.
Back.
And that's what, yeah, great move.
Yeah,
no, but,
really good perspective.
I mean, when he went into when he went into turn 3, you really need to let one car go through, and he did there. He yielded for Donkey, bided his time, was patient, and then he made the move stick.
Thomas going
really
for the P2.
No, and he's made it stick. That's a great move from Thomas.
Yeah, so he needs to get the fastest lap, and Maiko isn't P9, so it won't be enough for the championship.
Well, no, Maiko is in traffic at the moment. He's just overtaken Mikey for 10th, and now he's going to be released. He's now up into 8th position. He's going to be chasing KJ now.
There's a yellow flag for what? There is
It's Lorenzo. He's coming very slowly out of the pit lane now, and further the field. Yeah, I'm not sure what the yellow flag was for. I think someone might have had an incident somewhere, but Donkey's just coming out of the pit lane as well. There's got Joran fighting with Felix for 14th for 15th place. Oh, and Joran, he's sliding that Ferrari, he's drifting. We're not in Tokyo, but he fancies a drift in Montreal. Oh, Joran, he's definitely in the wars today.
As Felix defended this place quite good. Ren is in the favor of the faster tire combat, but Felix will do the one stop, and Joran probably needs to stop once again. Oh, Lorenzo spun.
Alright, that makes sense, yeah, because he's a bit further down the order. I was saying Luke was getting a bit squirmish. That backhand was getting very loose coming out of turn 6. It's the same place that Monster completely ended his race, so you've got to be careful there. It naturally understeers, but then after that, you get on the power too early, the car can oversteer very quickly, and it's so dirty.
Oh, Lorenzo Bandini, he loses and almost glazed Maiko.
Oh.
Jesus, so really a championship. Sorry.
But if he wasn't wearing brown underwear before, Maiko, he certainly is now. Oh, that was well too close for comfort there. I don't know if he managed to survive. Well done for Maiko there. If his hip wasn't hurting already, I'm sure it definitely moved a few clicks.
Also, GG's to Jelle for saving the car, but he just lost it at the Wall of Champions and just a bit like Kevin Magnussen in this crash. But oh, Luke retired from the session. It's a virtual safety car.
Yeah. Just looking at the car now. Yeah, so he lost it as well. So coming out of turn 3 and 4, he had a bit of it. It just got loose at the back end, and then he just smashed into the wall.
A bit what happened to Benjamin earlier on.
Similar, but unfortunately he was not able to continue his race. So there goes my pick out the window. That's it's not really worked out for Luke.
The pit lane.
But now we're going to see guys pitting, and Ice-T has stayed out. That's a bit of a gamble. I mean, I would say now is the time to pit. Get the hard tyres on. And Steve has done so as well. I think Ice-T, he could live to rue that mistake, because he was driving well in the lead.
Maiko once again into the pit lane. So Thomas probably made a good strategy call as he rejoins in front of
yeah, I mean, I think Maiko made a mistake putting on the medium tyres when he pitted a bit early. He should have gone straight to the hards, and now as a result of that, he's going to fall well out of the top 10. He's down into 14th place, and he could
Thomas now a professional race winner, actually.
Yeah, and this could be championship over if he carries on.
Yeah, what I wanted to say, the pit delta is 18 seconds or so. It really depends how you approach the pit lane. If you approach it good, it will be 18 seconds. You have, as it now stands, Troy will just, well, if you take the 18 seconds really literally, he'll come back out of Thomas. Thomas will be a race leader, but here we have also Simon. Simon who won his only FEL race here last season. Can he do it again? Can he spoil the Williams party as it stands right now? And it's again a Fiesta. I think Karam is comfortable in P5.
Well, Ice-T has stayed out at the moment. He's got quite a sizable margin. He's got about 20 or so. Alright, this virtual safety car will reset this in a bit. But he's going out a very long time. Now, I'm wondering, he knows that, I mean, Simon in third place at the moment has got a pit. So does Karen, so does Lorenzo.
For Steve, oh, there's Paul.
Steve. Oh, Steve. There's a time and place to be quick, my friend, but not under the virtual safety car. You've got to stay within the delta. He's being chased quite heavily by Karen, who's ghosting. I'm going to have to nickname Karen. Is Karen left the session? Is he disconnected?
I don't know. Probably.
Well, he's ghosting, so by the looks of the way that the car's driving, I'm going to have to call him Karen Bot at the moment because he's just Yeah, he's ghosting. You can tell he's going,
ended. Troy is going to stay out.
So Ice-T stays another lap out, so he's continuing to build that gap. Of course, he wants to be more comfortable on the harder tyres. I don't blame him for one stopping, but Thomas is going to be one stopping, so as it stands, he's going to end up behind Thomas as the end of the race, but obviously he feels he might have the pace to catch him later on when the hard tyres.
Donkey getting Tim getting past Steve and Karen.
Yeah, Steve has had to pit for service penalty. There's Karen Bot in 5th place behind Tim, so Tim's having a very lively race at the moment. As Guy goes even faster now.
Yeah, he's being put under pressure by Felix. Felix trying to do his best to not to ruin the Williams party.
Oh, and Steve's completely lost it. He's gone out of the pit lane like a man possessed, and he's just literally started drifting around the corner. Is this something with the Ferraris? Where the Ferraris are literally, Steve is drifting all over the place at the moment.
The horse is unleashed. I mean, probably cold tyres.
Cold tyres? He's not going to go to the end on those tyres. He's literally going to wear them out if he carries on doing
Lorenzo
that.
cut a corner even better, man.
Oh, Benjamin's made a move. He's passed Lorenzo up into 6th place.
Lorenzo just cut the corner and didn't lift or something. Just got full throttle.
Oh, is that right? I didn't see that, sorry.
Reckless. Oh, Michael overtook Felix.
Oh yeah, so he has nudged. Sorry, I didn't see that.
Same for me. I just saw it.
Oh, but he's got a great run, Mike. He's got a great run on Guy as well, and he's made that move stick. Says Maiko, he's really getting a move on. He's obviously knows he's got a championship to try and save. The Guy's got a great run coming out of the final corner. He's going to try and go for a move up the inside, but Maiko defends the line well, put the car in the middle of the track, and he's going to go for a move on the outside Guy, but no, Maiko should have that one done, but he's not going to give it up. As there's a piece of front wing being lost there for McLaren, so Lorenzo's lost a piece of his front wing end plate. As you can see, yeah, he's lost a piece of front wing end plate. He's managed to avoid hitting the Mercedes in front of him, so he's going to lose so much downforce in that McLaren. So he's going to become like a sitting duck for when Maiko eventually catches him. But he's going to have to fend off Guy, who's got DRS once again. He's going to try for a move up the inside here. It's really lively stuff at the moment, guys. Please like, share and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. There's plenty of action going on as we're about to get towards the second half of this Canadian Grand Prix. It's all going off now.
Oi, oi.
I was going to say, did you disappear for a bit, Matthias?
A little bit.
Yeah, so Ice-T is
Guy
just
tries to overtake Michael.
Yes.
Ooh, he has made the overtake stick, and Thomas now in the lead because Ice-T pitted.
Yes, he's on the hard tyres, he's on 4-lap fresher tyres, so that will help him. So he's definitely going to the end. I expect Thomas to do so as well. But I just feel that for Ice-T, perhaps he could have took the risk and got in a bit earlier under the VSC, and that would have
at the end of the race. So
we'll have to keep it up. Well, the conditions look fantastic at the moment. The sun is shining. It's a beautiful Sunday evening in Montreal, but right now, or Sunday afternoon, I should say, their time. But yeah, we'll have to keep an eye out if the rain is going to come. But at the moment,
Phoenix has wing damage?
I'd have to have a look. He's definitely not lapping. Yeah, he's not lapping as quickly as he should be. Yes, he lost his front wing end plate on the right-hand side, which is really hindering him at the moment. So he's got damage. Lorenzo's got another as Paul.
As it now stands, Thomas will be the season for champion.
Yeah, right now, yeah. So Maiko has to be in that 7th position to keep this championship going, and currently he's not in there, but he's got a great run behind Guy in the Racing Point. He's going to drive right past him, and also behind him, Maiko. I know he's had a collision with Felix. Oh, he's just gone straight into him. Oh, the two of them have gone, and that is Felix still all over the place, and Mikey there's ghosting through.
Which fault was it?
To be honest, when I cut in and saw it, they were both coming together. It's hard to say. I mean, it looked, they were both there to go into that corner together, but it did look a little bit like Mikey had gone too far to the outside. God, it's hard to say. I'd have to look at that one again. I'd have to look at that one again.
Yeah. A shame. This might ruin the Williams party.
But I don't think there was really anywhere Felix could go, to be honest. I think Mikey sort of turned to open up the corner. They were alongside each other, and it was just both of them colliding, wrong place, wrong time. And it just sent them both into a spin, and that's completely wrecked both of their races. They've put on medium tyres now, following that pit stop and some damage, so they're going to go to the end.
If there's going to be rain, there will be another pit stop be made, and we see Felix is really fast in the rain, as Kai is trying to overtake Maiko.
Yeah, so it's literally...
7.
Oh, I'll tell you what, he's bump drafting now. This is great stuff from Maiko.
Karam got wing damage.
Well, Karambot's got wing damage.
Karambot.
Well, yeah, he's just ghosting at the moment, so it's definitely a bot driving for him.
Yeah.
But looking at the battle further up front to Thomas doing what he needs to do, maintaining that gap to Ice-T. Is a 1.5 seconds between the two of them. It's been around about 1.5 seconds to 2 seconds since Ice-T put on those hard tyres, but he's slowly but surely clawing the gap back to Thomas. So this battle could get very tasty. If he can get within DRS, it'll be interesting to see how much Thomas will defend the lead, because right now he's in the championship winning position and needs to stay there in order to win the championship today. So he could probably afford to fight this. It must be said. I think
first of all, Michael needs to pass Guy. Gets to pass. He
does, but I just think, considering the lead that Thomas has, he could probably afford to fight this. And let's not forget, he's also got a Constructors' Championship that he can win today. As it stands right now,
Williams will win
they're going to win that as well. Yeah, because right now they're both on 8th. Was it 3 points for 8th position? So yeah, right now.
Well, yeah, Simon 15 places, Maiko with 4 points.
And Mercedes need to outscore Williams by 9 points, and at the moment they're not doing
Simon gets a 3-second time penalty, but Tim is really flying behind him with a lot of fresher tires. Simon hasn't stopped yet, or did once at the beginning of the race.
And Maiko and Guy have both passed Karambot for 6th and 7th position.
Karambot.
Well, that's what it's like. Lando bot from that the virtual Grand Prix the other weekend. And Joran has moved up into 11th place now, so the two Ferraris occupying 10th and 11th position. Certainly not what the Scuderia would have wanted to see them, but they've certainly had exciting races of their own right. Not really in the sense you'd want.
Can I interrupt you? Maiko needs to get the fastest lap, and the championship will go on to next round. But Felix just took it, and Felix is on fresh mediums. And if there's going to be rain at the end, I don't think... Oh, and Simon gets overtaken. Oh, Simon gets into the pit.
Yeah, he's pitted. Well, he got a penalty as well, and he's been on those medium tyres for a long time, he has, Simon. Obviously, if you remember earlier in the race, he had to pit because he served a drive-through penalty for jumping the start. One of 4 guys, so it'd be interesting to get their thoughts as to why there must have been a glitch of some sort, because 4 of them jumped the start, which is unheard of. 1, maybe 2, if you very rarely, but 4 of them, something must have happened. Would have to happen.
Because Simon pitted Thomas won't win the championship yet, because Maiko's in P6.
No, right now Maiko's in P6, so Maiko doing just about enough to keep this championship alive, but you'd almost say he's delaying the inevitable at the moment. But right now Williams in the driving seat for the Constructors' Championship at the moment. Thomas with 25 points, and further behind them, Mercedes have only got, if my maths is right, about 7 or 8 points. It's not enough. Sorry, about 10 points actually. So yeah, nowhere near enough to keep this Constructors' Championship going. So obviously, being the Williams team boss, Matthias, you're probably feeling pretty happy about the current championship situation for your boys. They're doing the job at the moment.
Well, yes, but I also don't want. I also want Thomas to win it because, yeah, it's on his own. He's just driving in my team, but that's not all. It's just he's been really good all season long. Is this the season final? No, it isn't. It's the 12th of 15 rounds, and today both of the championship could be won, and as it stands, one will be won.
Of course, we don't want the championships to be over and done with before the season finale, of course not. But obviously, you know, Thomas has been outstanding this season. He's been the class of the field, and of course, a few of the faster drivers that you see in this championship have joined a little bit later in the season. Of course, Maiko had his injury as well, which kept him out of action for some time, which has really put pain in this championship. But since then, he has returned and he's driving fairly well. Unfortunately for him, certain incidents in this race have really shuffled the order because he's looked very quick this weekend. Certainly the quickest he's been since returning to Formulaeuroleague. But Thomas has done what you need to do as a champion. You win races when you're on top, and when you're doing well and things don't go your way, you need to minimise the damage to your championship, and that's what he's done.
Maiko going for the move for P5, which will be giving him a bit more to play with.
Well, him and Guy
Felix left the session, he disconnected.
Yeah, I mean, Felix has not had the best of luck today. He's been at the front, he's been at the back, he's literally been everywhere in this race, so we've only been 22 laps in.
So
but Maiko's got that move done.
Needs to carry the Williams team.
He needs to get after Benjamin now. Can Maiko shake off Guy once and for all? And Guy's driven really well. And on this track, DRS is really powerful on this circuit. If you can stay within that DRS section, you can literally have the guy in front drag you around the circuit. As I said, it gets tight and technical in Sector 2, but there's 3 DRS sections, which really helps to close the gap. So if you can stay with the guy in front, even if he's faster than you, he should be able to pull you along. That's what Guy is doing really well. But it looks like Maiko might be able to shake him off now. And both of them catching Benjamin very quickly. So I thought we were going to have Karen Bot versus Felix Bot, as they're not too far away on the track, but it looks like that battle, as Mikey has decided to go the scenic route through turns 3 and 4 there, and go straight across. I just about caught him doing that, it's a bit naughty there. Going straight back to the front again, so you've got that gap to Ice-T and Thomas, still what, a second and a half to 2 seconds. So right now, it looks like Thomas is doing just enough to keep Ice-T back, and Ice-T gets a 3-second time penalty. And Thomas is keeping it clean at the moment. So he's looking good at the moment. Just going to have a look and see if he's got any penalties. I don't believe he does, and he started 9th at the start of this race. It's amazing. He's got 2 warnings though, Thomas, so 1 more and he could be receiving a time penalty. Lorenzo gets another penalty.
I think probably Williams, 10 for Maiko, 6 for Simon as it stands, 16 points.
Well, it won't be enough. Remember, they have to beat Williams by 9 points to keep this championship alive. Right now, Williams has 9 more points than they do at this point in time. So, yeah, right now it's...
They'll need to gain 18 points.
They need to get 18 more points.
Yeah,
So they need to get 18 more points than they've already got. So right now, as Guy's about to make a move on Maiko to put pain to already what's been a bad showing for Mercedes so far, and he's got the move stick again. So as I was saying before, Maiko is clearly faster than Guy at the moment, but DRS is so powerful on this track with 3 zones, he just cannot shake Guy off at the moment. As you can see, he pulls away from him throughout the lap, but the DRS is so powerful, and clearly Guy is running less downforce on that racing point than the Mercedes is at the moment, and he's just clawing that gap back in the straight.
Maiko's 3-second time penalty.
Oh, well, that's just going to add more misery to his woe. So right now, it's looking very good for Williams to seal up this Constructors' Championship. And Thomas is doing exactly what he needs to do to ensure that he literally leaves us all without a shadow of a doubt that he's going to wrap up
If
the
he
Drivers'
wins, he
Championship.
can't do anything more than in the championship for himself, because he'll probably steal the Williams title, and he'll probably win it next round, because he gets now 25 points. Michael gets 8, 19 points. What's the difference? Thomas needs to, if it stays like this, Thomas will need to outscore Michael by 6 points next round.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, it's
More
becoming. I mean, Michael again is trying to get past Guys. It's been a brilliant battle between these two. And so far, but at the moment, it's looking very, very good for Thomas. It seems to be only a matter of time before he's crowned the Formulaeuroleague champion.
Well, still 10 laps to go. Maybe Michael crashes or something like that, or even Thomas crashes. That will. Yeah, you never know in 10 laps. In the 10 laps, the rain could come down, something like that. You never know.
Well, no, absolutely. I mean, with 3 races to go, of course, and a maximum of 78 points on offer, of course, Maiko needs to get an extra point because of countback in the championship for race wins that Thomas has in his favour. So with that many points on offer, he needs to outscore him by 18 or 19 points. So at this point in time, it's looking good. It's looking good for Thomas. He's doing exactly what he needs to do. He's still maintaining that gap to IC. Maiko is still battling away with Guy for 5th and 6th. He just cannot overtake that racing point. It's absolutely rapid down the back straight. Must be said, it's brilliantly done.
Yeah, we'll just have to wait. Maybe Michael just, I don't know, it's still 9 laps, so you never know. And to be honest, as a Williams, it's weird to finally see Michael made a little bit of a mistake, so now is the time for Kai to pull away.
So Felix is back. He's no longer under the control of Felix bot. As Kerem is still under control of Felix bot, and Kerem gets a 3-second time. But how's a bot got a 3-second time penalty? What's going on?
Maybe Kerem is driving himself. I don't know.
Well, a bit strange because Kerem's been ghosting. No, he's ghosting. So yeah, no. Or he's sliding a bit. I don't know. Is he driving? I mean, he's ghosting. I mean, answer sort of postcard, ladies and gentlemen. Do you think Kerem is controlled by a bot, or if he's doing it himself? I mean, it's a very weird one. Maybe he's ghosting the whole way through. He's not been lapped, of course, because everyone else behind him would be in that position. But Felix is now back solid again, so he's back under control in 14th place. There's a lot for him to do to try and get back into the championship points for this race. He's a long way back. We'll say that he's about 7 to 8 seconds off of Joran. Steve gets a time penalty, multiple warnings. Their 2 Ferraris are having a bit of a ding-dong battle as well, and Joran is sizing up a move around the outside as Steve lets his teammate through. So with that time penalty, his teammate's clearly faster than he is at the moment, and looks like he might try and get after Simon, but he's about 17 seconds back, so got 2 hopes there. Got 2 hopes of catching Simon. No, he's got 2 hopes of catching Simon at the moment. That's Bob Hope and no hope at the moment. It's an old British phrase there to basically say, yeah, it's not looking likely that that's going to happen. Speaking of things that are going to happen at the moment, Maiko just ahead of his teammate now. So Simon is caught right up to the back of this battle between Guy and Maiko. So it's going to be interesting to see what Simon does. Of course, he's got penalties. Everyone seems to have penalties in this race. As Michael goes for a move up the inside, he doesn't go for this time. He tucks in again. Well, what is Simon going to do? Is he going to try and get past his teammate? Is he going to get involved in this battle?
If he gets past his teammates, his championship is over, and he's been a wingman.
Does he know that though? Mercedes told him if he passes Maiko, Thomas will win the championship. If I'm right, yeah.
Oh, he makes a mistake.
But Simon's going to go for the move. What is he doing? Oh, well,
Simon is James, pole position.
Oh dear.
2018 German Grand Prix flashbacks.
Yeah, it's a bit eerie. But now Ice-T, just to go back to the battle at the front, Matthias, he's right behind Thomas, so this could have massive ramifications for the championship if Ice-T could win the race instead of Thomas. He's got the DRS open, he's not going to make the move stick this time around, he's still a bit away, but he's got a good exit out of the final corner. He's going to have DRS coming all the way down into turn 1. Thomas goes to the inside to defend it. Is Ice-T going to go for a big ballsy dive bomb? No, he does not this time around.
In F2 I saw 4 big ballsy dive bomb, one guy coming back from 2 cars and just boom, getting the overtake done. So it
but the clouds are starting to come over, Matthias, so will we see some rain before the end of this?
And then
so
the
guys,
medium runners will be in the wafer because they have the softer tire, and especially Simon, he's on 9 lap old mediums compared to his teammate with 17 lap old hard, so that will make a difference of 8 laps. Quick math, where I am not good at, not at all.
he did alright that time around.
Guy makes a bit of a mistake.
Yeah, and Simon's still right with him as well, as Steve gets another penalty. Yeah, Simon all over the back of Maiko, like he must be holding off surely.
Felix just really closing up to Donkey.
Yeah, well, Felix is back under control now, but we'll go back for the battle for the lead actually, as Ice-T under DRS is right behind, and he's gone round the outside of Thomas, and he makes the move stick, and he leads the Canadian Grand Prix, so that is huge for the championship. As it stands right now, Thomas can definitely not win the championship today. Maiko will be very happy to see that, but of course, there's still plenty of time left. If Thomas can stick with Ice-T, them two could be swapping
Maiko's
positions.
3-second time penalty.
Well, he's just overtaken Guy. I'm not watching that battle, but I'm guessing he's overtook him in a place perhaps where he shouldn't have done. Or actually no, I'm just watching back the stream, so no, he kept it clean there, but he's overtook him cleanly. So we'll have to keep an eye on that one. But yeah, that's going to be huge, because obviously I'll have to check penalties and see how that fizzles out.
I think Guy has Ice-T has a penalty, so, and Thomas doesn't. Oh, you see Maiko pulling away from Guy. That's definitely going to change the championship.
Thomas has got a great run, and he's going to get DRS on Ice-T as Ice-T goes defensive to try and shake off Thomas to get the slipstream out of control. But Thomas is very close to him coming down the back straight. He's going to have a lot of pace in that Williams. He's not going to size off the move. He's got to get the grind right.
He's just going like a championship.
Yeah, he's got a good exit as well, and now Ice-T goes to the inside. He's going to hold it, but Thomas goes around the outside. And he's hit Ice-T. And Ice-T's going to come back at it.
Second time penalty will probably be removed.
Yeah, that's a bit harsh there for Ice-T, because Thomas definitely did hit him as he tried to turn in. As he went defensive. Thomas getting a bit too aggressive that time around. Thankfully for Ice-T, they managed to keep it going, but Thomas is in the lead, and I'm sure in the end probably would have took the lead anyway.
I think Thomas won't be getting any penalties for that, because he never took anyone out, and Troy's 3-second time penalty will be removed, and Troy is fighting once again with Thomas. Both of the Mercedes cars overtook Guy. They make contact!
Ice-T's punted to the back of him, and now he's going in front of him as well. Well, they've got one each now, so obviously Ice-T getting very racy behind him. And he's going to get the DRS as well, and he's going to drive right past him. And Thomas is going to tuck him behind him now to get the slipstream to try and set up a move into turn 1. As the track, as you can see now, the clouds are coming over. Will we see some rain before the end of this race? And now, take 2, the battle between Ice-T and Thomas for the lead of the Canadian Grand Prix this time. Thomas tucks in behind Ice-T.
Simon overtook Maiko.
Yeah, he has.
But the Guy now needs to change. Well, if Thomas will win this race and Guy gets one or another way past Maiko, I don't know how many penalties Guy or Maiko has, but that will definitely play a big role in the championship.
Yeah, I'm just going to have a look and try and do the maths for this one to see if Thomas is to see if Thomas is in a position if he wins this race.
It could be Maiko just needs to be P7 with fastest lap, then it's not over, and if he finishes P7 without the fastest lap, which is in the hands of Felix, he won't. Then Thomas will be champion, but it's not standing for him as it stands like this. Now in second place, Maiko in 6th. Maiko getting under pressure from Kai. I see some raindrops. I see raindrops on the.
Yeah, it's starting to go down.
On both camera.
As Thomas is looking to try and make a move now, he's right up behind him. Ice-T once again coming into turn 1 in the slipstream part 3. This time he goes to the inside, Ice-T's on the outside, and Thomas goes for a lunge, but they're still together, and Ice-T manages to force him very wide into turn 2, almost shoving him off the road, and somehow manages to maintain the lead. And the rain is starting to come down, just as you said, so this is going to get very, very exciting now.
It's going to be ice racing with Formula 1 cars on all hards in the rain. Tim and P3 will be really struggling with the oldest hard tires out there.
Yeah. Well, no, as you were saying before, Ice-T has actually got 2 penalties right now. So he's going to be falling down the order. So right now,
Michael has and Kai.
Michael has 2 penalties, Simon has 1 penalty, and Guy has 2 penalties. So right now, if my maths is right, Matthias, as it stands, given everyone's good timing, Maiko's going to fall back into 7th position when this is all said and done. Thomas, on the other hand, is going to take the lead.
And Guy has 2 as well. Am I right?
No, he has 1. I believe he has 1 penalty and 2 warnings at the moment. So as it stands right now, sorry, I should move my mic. When it all pans out across the line, Thomas is going to win the championship once all the penalties sort out in this position.
2 of my most nervous laps on commentating, but that's just me. I think every team boss will have that when one of their, I think Thomas getting slippery on those hard tires. So if Kai might get promoted to P5 eventually, if both of the Mercedes is 2 seconds of time penalties.
I'm not sure about Simon. I'm just going to have another look because he had that penalty at the start of the race, which he's already served, and he's got a warning and a penalty. No, Simon has got 1 penalty at this point in time, and Maiko has got 2 penalties, which he has not served either of those, so he's got 6 seconds worth of penalties. Guy, on the other hand, just looking through, he already served his drive-through at the start of the race, so he has 1 penalty. So right now, as we stand,
Thomas will be
Thomas
champion.
is going to win the championship after the penalties take effect.
Okay,
and Thomas will take the lead.
I kind of promised Thomas one thing. He is known as the Kubica of Formulaeuroleague, and Kubica won his only Grand Prix on this track in 28.
Yes, that's absolutely right. And that season, that was the year.
I'm trying to recreate the little team radio of Grandissimo Kubica, something like that. Robert, good job. So I think Thomas will.
Oh, and Ice-T got very squirmish there coming out. He's trying to get away, but he's literally on borrowed time at the moment. And unfortunately, yes, ladies and gentlemen, I believe if my maths is right, we're going to see a change of the order as Kerem has fallen down the order. Steve has got a 3-second time penalty, not that it's relevant. But yes, as it stands right now, Thomas is literally about 20 seconds away from being crowned the Formula EuroLeague champion. And of course, in addition to this, the Williams team are also going to wrap up the Constructors' Championship as
first of all, I want to give Ice-T an applause for winning on track. But will he do it off track? Is Thomas going to clinch the title? We'll just have to wait till Michael crosses the line.
This is going to get very interesting, guys. Let's see if Adam is credible or if he's a total fraud. We're about to find out as Ice-T crosses the line first. But Thomas will get the win. And now we will see behind as Tim comes through in 3rd. What will happen?
Where's Michael going to rejoin?
Here comes Michael. We're about to find out, is it over? Is the championship over?
Yes! Thomas is champion!
Thomas is the Formula EuroLeague champion. And Williams have also clinched the Constructors' title for Formula EuroLeague as well. What a day for you, Matthias, as team boss. Your boys have come through and they have done it. How do you feel?
Happy. It's only my first full season as a team boss, and then you have this success immediately. But Michael, as it's a shame he broke his hip. That's really throwing away the title, but he done an amazing job keeping it alive to round 12 and just missing out on this on the championship. Yeah,
No,
but
of course,
Thomas
I
is the
mean-
new champion.
brilliant to
Grandissimo. He won it. Kubica Formulaeuroleague won the championship. Give this man an applause.
Well, it's been a long time since Williams were world champions.
Well, I'm
If my
going to
memory
invite
serves me
him
right,
for the party.
Yeah, in the real Formula One world, 1993 was the last time Williams won a world championship. The late
2020.
was the world champion then, but today belongs to Thomas.
And
Darth
Isaac
Vader,
getting the
world
second
champion.
podium of the season, and Tim
Of
getting
course,
once
yes.
again a podium.
Formula
4
Euro
races, 4
League champion.
podiums. Thomas
Williams,
Mann.
our
Fun
champions
fact,
as well.
we have 4 champions, only one hasn't been. Well, we have 3 Belgian champions, Thomas, Micah, Steve. Well, so Thomas
want me
wins
to
the championship.
I'll invite them to the party, shall I?
Yeah.
I'll invite Felix as well, because it'd be good to talk to Felix, obviously winning the championship. And Maiko as well.
Yeah, we'll just. But these are the race results: Thomas, Icy, Tim, Benjamin, Simon, Kai, Maiko, Johan, Karen, finally getting some points. Same for Jelle, Hetkamp, Felix, Matthias, Donkey, Steve, Lorenzo, and the DNFs. Or no, sorry, we have still Mikey, and we have the DNFs, Paul and Luke and Monster. And I'll just set the party on open because they have to join. Because we'll probably ask a couple of questions how they feel about winning the championship. Wait. You invited Maiko?
I'm just about to. Sorry, is it FIFA 114?
Yeah, 114.
Yes, there we go.
I invited him.
Oh, you've done that?
Done
Okay. Let me look for Maiko then if you've done that.
Did you invite Maiko? Wait, I just need to ask for champion. Thomas, the new champion!
Hey.
Yeah,
How do
you
you
did
feel?
it.
Really happy. Holy shit. I'm going to record on YouTube. My reaction was a bit crazy. My heart was,
Wait,
just really high. I closed everything.
I have to invite Felix and Luke as well because they are also part of the.
Invited them to the thing. So Thomas, great drive once again, winner of the Canadian Grand Prix and the Formula Euroleague champion. How do you feel? And please do not swear. On the broadcast, please.
I am very happy. 4 seasons it took me.
4 seasons.
Yeah.
Also,
just
Felix, congratulations on the team championship.
Yeah, we are constructor championships as well.
Both
Right, yeah.
championships.
Fantastic weekend with Canada is, I think, a very good track. Here I won
Robert
my
Kubica
first league
won.
race, and I win the championship and the constructor championship with Williams. Beautiful season. Oh my god.
That was
Luke,
brilliant stuff.
Hello.
congratulations
Hello,
as
Luke.
being a reserve of the championship winning team.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. I must give credit to Luke because he let me through on the pit lane in China.
Yeah,
so
that's 2 cents.
China,
That's 2
that's-
cents.
yeah, you can get 2 cents for my prize money. So
Otherwise, you would have not scored any points there.
yeah. Oh.
Well,
Obviously
congratulations.
Felix as well in the party. So Felix, I know it's not been the best day for you racing wise, and obviously VRL and also today, but constructors champions as well. Great job today for the season, I should say. You must be pretty happy with that one.
Yeah, well, the race was like I wouldn't like to experience that again, but
You
really
got
happy to
used
win a
20
championship.
times.
Yeah, it yeah.
It really gave me a heart attack.
Yeah, that was great.
Thomas
great
half
job for
spinning by
William.
Johan once again. Conspiracy.
Oh, before I spin me there.
Johan did.
But the game was a bit strange. I had damage the entire race, so it was very hard. I had a lot of fun.
Did you have
with,
damage on the
with
stream?
snipes.
You didn't really have damage.
Yeah, but when you're spun me around, I don't know how, but some
just
reason I had
touched
light green damage. Right? In every corner I had some understeer, so it's really struggling. But yeah, somehow I won the race.
How
and the
many races you've
championship.
won? 7
5. Oh, in
No.
total or
in
this
total.
season?
And this season,
total.
well, Tim won
I've
2.
won 2 races in
Felix won
season 1.
2. That's 4. Michael won 2. So that's 6.
Ah, this season.
You won. You won. You won.
I won
6
5.
races. 6.
I won 5. 5.
I won 2 races.
Yeah, Tim
And of
2.
course, yes.
Michael 3.
And
No, 5.
no, I won 5.
So of course,
You're
so of course
a
we should say commiserations to Mike. Unfortunately, he's not able to join us at the moment, but no, he put up a great fight, and obviously, considering what's happened to him this season with his injury, he's did a fantastic job to come back in this championship. So hopefully, he'll be feeling a lot better next season. He'll be able to put up a much more competitive fight next season. But it's definitely Williams' day, and they've done a fantastic job. So congratulations, guys! Brilliant job this season.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you, mate. I appreciate it.
Well, I have to stop the stream. Follow us Instagram, Twitter, everywhere, YouTube
and the
channel,
website as well,
and the
of
website.
course. Yeah, all of
And,
them included on the Instagram page. So do check out the website. Great work done by all the guys at Formulaeuroleague, and it's definitely worth looking at it. And yeah, no, what a pleasure. So the
Championship
over.
over.
There's still plenty of action. We've got 3 more races, guys, and now that the championships are over, doesn't mean the action stops. It's going to be a frenzy and a free-for-all. So
Tim
do
can
make sure
still
to
get
join us.
B2 in the standings.
Absolutely, it's all to play for, so still plenty of action to go, guys. Make sure you join us next week for the next round, and also check out the Champions League Tier 2 for Formula Euroleague that happened today. That was another great race. So it's all going off now, plenty of content.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to say bye.